everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I thought it was time to do a Q&A, and I asked on YouTube using the community tab because not everyone follows me on Twitter or Instagram, so I'm so glad that we have this option now. And I basically chose questions that were repetitive. I wanted to answer all of the questions that were frequently asked, so let's get started. First question is, what is your biggest achievement in 2017? And the answer to that would definitely be 365 vlogs on Joan Day. I can't believe I did it, but I'm so glad I did because I got to document really good memories, events, and all of my travels. That was so much fun. It was definitely one of the greatest years of my life. The second question is, are you going to stop daily vlogging again after Vlogmas? And I did answer this in my last vlog, but yes, I am going to stop daily vlogging because I just want to focus on quality content over quantity. When will Joan Day Season 2 start? January, most likely the second week of January. I just want to brainstorm and then vlog it and then slowly start uploading really good quality videos. Did you ever feel bad that you were distancing yourself from your Korean heritage while trying to fit in the US? So I never really distanced myself from my Korean heritage. Every summer I did go visit my family here in Korea, and my mom basically taught me and my brother how to read, write, and speak Korean, and we watched a lot of Korean dramas, and I listened to K-pop while growing up. However, whenever my friends asked me what my favorite TV shows are, or what kind of music I listen to, or who my favorite singers were, I confidently said, oh, I really like Big Bang, and they would ask who it is, and they would make fun of me for that. It was never me trying to distance myself from Korean heritage. In fact, I was trying my best to listen to both Western and Korean songs and watch a lot of, Hollywood films as well as Korean films and dramas as well. I was trying to find a balance, but every time I talked about Korean ones, my friends did make fun of me for it. But now that K-pop is becoming a lot more international, my friends do ask me about who the hottest singers are, and we're able to have this conversation. But back then it was really difficult because people used to make fun of like what I liked, and that is so not okay. So yeah. What is your ultimate tip for YouTube beginners? To stay consistent. That's my answer every time I get asked this question. It's really about how much time and effort you put into what you want to create. So it's really about consistency. Is it true that in Korea, the talk of mental illness is taboo? So the answer to this will be different from everyone because everybody in Korea has a different experience, they know different people. But for me, based on my friends, coworkers, and family, I would have to say that the answer is yes, because I would ask them and talk to them about this, and they were like, oh, that just kind of shows weakness. But compared to my friends in America who actually go see therapists every weekend or on the weekly, it's very different here. Which kind of leads to the next question, is how I stay positive. I received so many questions on this, and Ezekiel asked me, this may be super random and personal, but how are you, Joan? We always see you being happy, but we never really know what you truly feel behind cameras. And it's true. I like to document when I'm happy. When I'm sad, I don't want to pick up the camera because I'm just so sad, and I don't want to share negative emotions. 2017 was actually the year that I felt the happiest ever since 2010. I was very depressed and I was going through so much stress to the point where I had the shingles, and I've talked about this before, but I never really talked about it in detail. But I wasn't eating properly because I was just so stressed about things that I was going through, and I was just constantly not getting enough sleep. It was just a very dark time in my life. And I'm really thankful to my friends who were very supportive and listening to me and just caring about me. And because of that, I kind of wanted to change my mentality of trying to think a little more positively in all circumstances. So I really worked on it the past couple of years, and I think 2017 was the year that I got to focus on the positives, and that kind of encourages me to get back on my feet and yeah, be more thankful. I really try to think of everything that I am thankful for, and that really keeps me happy. But the answer to why you always see me happy in my videos is because I like to film and document when I'm happy, and when I'm sad, I kind of just forget about it and focus on my emotions rather than trying to share about why I'm sad. I don't want to do that at all. So yeah. Another question that I received a lot was, how do you manage your money? And the answer to this is, I'm very good at saving money. So when I had my first job in high school, ever since then, I wanted to save up, like whether it was for college or for treating myself to a nice bag, whatever it was, I wanted to treat myself to quality instead of quantity. In my vlogs, I have taken you guys with me shopping, and sometimes I get a lot of comments in the comment section saying, oh my gosh, you have changed, you're spending all this money on brands, blah 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 blah. I started YouTube almost 3 years ago, but even before YouTube days, I was more about saving up for one expensive bag instead of 10 to 15 cheap ones. That's just how I saved my money and used my money. And every time I get my paycheck, I do like to save like 20% of it and then pay off my rent, loans using the rest of the money. As a YouTube creator, my paycheck does change every month. There are good months and there are some average months. It really changes all the time. So depending on that, I just like to save up a good chunk of it and then use what I need to do. Sometimes I like to treat myself, but most of the time I do like to save. The next question is, how do you manage to work with companies and still have your own honest opinions and views? The answer to that is, I don't work with companies that don't let me give my own honest opinions and views. So one of the main reasons why I love working with CosRX, for example, is at the event there was a question that was asked to me from a subscriber saying, what product do you not like from CosRX? Because I was hyping up 10 products that I loved, and the viewer asked me what I didn't like, and I honestly told her I didn't like their cushion, their old cushion, not their newest cushion. And CosRX, I was like looking at them, but later CosRX was like, I'm so glad you were honest. And you know what they did? They worked on making their cushion better, and now I love their new cushion. So that's why I love CosRX, because they listen to everything that's on my mind and then they try their best to make their next product better. But over the past, I've done 4 or 5 sponsored content on this channel. If it doesn't feel right for me, I would just rather not do it, because I care more about like sharing what's right on my channel than doing anything for money. Like, I just rather not do that. So sponsored content, like I usually turn down companies if they have like a list of bullet points of things I have to say for each of the product, because if I don't agree with it, then I'd rather not get paid for that, because that video will be on my channel and I don't want people to watch it like over the next couple of years, because I would just feel so terrible about that. So I do take into consideration for each brand that reaches out to me, and if it's not the right fit, then I just turn them down. And most of the times companies would be like, hey, we'll just send you the products then for you to try, and if they're good, then I let them know, and if they're not, I also let them know, and then we just end up not working together. So I got a lot of questions about whether or not I have a boyfriend or not, and what my ideal type is. And no, I don't have a boyfriend, and my ideal type is someone who is smart and funny. Next question is, did you stop studying when you started doing YouTube? And no, I finished studying. I graduated from college and then I started YouTube years later. And I do want to do a college related Q&A, so if you have any questions about college, whether it's how I got in or any tips and tricks on like studying, whatever you have, please ask in the comments, because I think that will be my next Q&A. Is being a YouTuber your full-time job? What are your other careers? I would say I'm a full-time YouTuber, but these days I have been going back to radio. I work at KBS World now, so I guess I'm a full-time YouTuber, but I'm a part-time radio DJ. What are your views on being single at your age? Do you plan on settling down soon? It's really up to you. I have friends who are married, I have friends who are going to get married, and I have friends who are not even thinking about marriage, and that's totally okay. Like, that's totally fine. The next question is basically, how do I finish all of my empties? And this is a question I get asked in pretty much all of my empties videos. And the answer to that is I live with 2 other human beings in this apartment, and I share products with my mom and brother, and that's how we're able to quickly use up all of the products. And I'm very generous with the products. My brother squeezes out a little bit, but I like to make sure my skin will drink up all of the products because it's gonna be good for your skin, and why would you ration it? Like, use a lot of it and you'll see quicker results that way. And for each bottle there is an expiration date, whether it's 12 months, 6 months, and I try my best to finish it within that time limit. So that's why I go through empties so quickly. And if you watch my empties, some of the products I might have like opened it for the first time months and months ago. So like Cosrx pimple patches, pimple pads, like sometimes the face washes I go through so quickly. But yeah, it usually takes me 6 to 8 months to finish each of the products, and I do share the products with my family, and sometimes when my friends who come over, I like to share them with them. Alright, so that wraps up today's Q&A. I hope you guys found it helpful or got to learn a little more about me. For the next one, I do want to do the college one because a lot of you guys ask in the comments on Twitter and Instagram about like my life in college and tips and tricks, things like that. And I kind of want to have a special guest, one of my friends, help me answer the questions because it's always better to have more than one perspective. So if you have any questions, comment down below and maybe you'll get featured in my next Q&A. Alright, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!